Welcome, citizen. I am your host, Venerati, and we're going to be seeing another matchup in between Madfrog and Sjow. We are on Metalopolis. It is going to be a TVZ, and it's going to be awesome. So let's just go ahead and do a little bit of a recap on the game that we saw beforehand, because this will be a best of three. Basically, we saw Sjow keep Madfrog's economy suppressed, depressed, and pillaged, because Madfrog's economy was... It really never got off the ground, to be honest. It was never really past a one base, even though he did take his natural at around 14 supply count. He was just never able to really keep his economy going. And then, because of that, he never really had that big of an army. He had Zerglings, and he had Banelings as well, but he never got past that tech. He tried to get a Spire, but Sjow was just all over him and didn't let it happen. Just Sjow did an excellent job of keeping Madfrog poor, is really what he did. So let's go ahead and shift back into the now. What do we have going on from Sjow? Sjow choosing to do the same thing, going to grab that supply depot close to his base, not wanting to be harassed by any malicious drones or anything like that. We do see scouts coming out for Madfrog. He will be poking around, looking to find his opponent and kind of gauge what he needs to do, if he's going to be okay to grab that expansion, or if he wants to go ahead and one base it pool and then roll into roaches or something like that. Sjow, meanwhile, is going to start the walling off process. It's a very, very simple but crucial aspect of the Terran and Protoss builds against Zergs, because you do not want those Zerglings in your main base and in your mineral line, because they love to chew on those SCVs and probes. So right now, this drone kind of scurrying around, just paying a general pain in the rear, as it's going to be trying to chew on that SCV like it did in the first matchup there, and nearly killed it last time. But this drone not faring so well, as he was trying to duel off with that fresh SCV. The drone can grab this Vespene Geyser if he wants to. We do have a supply depot coming down. The drone once again just poking around, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can with it. So the Marine will be showing up though, and will be putting Gauss rifle bullets in. Will he be able to kill it though? Oh, 1 HP, and he was able to grab the extractor. So this Marine is going to have a long trip, or long job ahead of him, trying to kill this extractor with that rifle, as that's really not going to flow. So what do we got going on over here at Madfrog? While Madfrog, of course, is going to be stealing a Vespene Geyser back in his main, he does have the hatchery, he does have a spawning pool coming online, as well as extractor, so he's going to be doing pretty standard opener for most Zerg. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff for most Zerg players, especially this high level. The alternate, you generally see one base roaches, like a 7 roach count timing push. Can be very deadly against an opponent that's definitely not prepared for it, as Sjow doesn't have a tech lab down or anything like that right now. So also, the roaches would definitely nerf the effectiveness of any Hellion harassment, because that's what we saw originally from Sjow last game, and that's what's super effective, as we saw him completely do a line shot down the evacuating drones and toasted like 6 at one time. But meanwhile, we have these Marines moving up here on the natural. We'll be killing that drone and basically just kind of waltzing up into the main. So they're coming up the ramp, and they are going to be chewing on this drone. That one drone will be dying right there. We do have a Roachborn coming online. This Queen, pissed off, will be coming out here charging, though the Queen is now off the creep and vulnerable. We have a second Queen coming up here, just, you know, just tapping him on the shoulder, trying to evict him, as he took both of those guys, not really feeling so hot about their lives right now. We'll be retreating. Meanwhile, Sjow just cranking out the same old, as he's doing exactly what he did last time. Does have the tech lab down, will be getting the custom shells, will be getting the Hellions, and choosing not to come away from the Hellions, even though he saw that Roach warn, because those Roaches are just able to soak up that damage from those from the Hellions. I mean, even with the Prefrontal Igniter, it's really not going to be doing much. But we did see that Overlord go down, as Madfrog did sacrifices, trying to get a better idea of what's going on in Sjow's base. So Sjow right now has Marauder out, has 4 Marines, and that Hellion. So nothing super deadly, super scary coming out right now. We do have Metabolic Boost coming out for Madfrog, and right now Madfrog's sitting pretty, as he is just cruising along. Does have the natural coming around, and we'll be getting the roaches, and these roaches are definitely going to mix things up. They're going to really just able to guard against any sort of real aggressive Hellion use, as the upgrade for them will be finishing up here right now, and they are just eager and willing to roast any Zerglings or drones that get in the way. So of course this one Marauder, actually second Marauder showing up there. those guys are definitely be keen on killing these roaches, but there just aren't really enough of them at the moment. So the third Hellion are showing up, will be advancing on the natural. Madfrog moving up here, trying to make sure that these Hellions are not going to get free will. Meanwhile, the Zerglings are getting surrounded on these units right here, will be killing them. And of course, that Pre-Infernal Igniter just roasting these Zerglings right there. But there's so many Zerglings that they just go ahead and power through it, get this surround, and kill them as one Hellion scampers back inside behind the supply depot. And basically, at this point, the Zerglings are not going to be able to do anything. As if they do attempt to try to chew on this front door, this Hellion is just going to make mincemeat out of them, or charcoal briskets, whatever you want to do. We could see a sniping from the roaches, trying to chew on these tech labs, trying to hit these supply depots, as we do see Sjow beefing up his wall, as we see a barracks, supply depot, and another supply depot, so anticipating some sort of baneling bust or something of that nature. So having the layers is definitely going to keep him safe inside his base. And it's just, you know, it's kind of sad that you're having to hide behind this, but those banelings are just so effective and can be just so brutal, because if he gets them in your mineral line, that mineral line is just going to go down in a blaze of glory. And Madfrog is definitely going to be smiley face, and Sjow would definitely be not so smiley face, because it's really frustrating to have those guys running, because it only takes two to take out a huge swath of your income, and it's well, how do you come back from it? Well, you got to crank out SCVs. It means you can't crank out the army, and it's just all around not a good situation to be in. So right now, we do have the Spire coming from Madfrog, so we will be seeing Mutalisk coming from Madfrog. Madfrog able to kind of do what he wants to, forcing Sjow to ball up, as he did a nice counter with the roaches. The roaches really were just too much for him, too much for Sjow to handle with what he was bringing to the table. As last time, so much of the effectiveness of his army hinged on these Hellions, and the Hellions, of course, just not really being that effective right now. Sjow, though, moving out, will be occupying his natural, so not wanting to be left behind. We are at the 10-minute mark, so a little bit slow, but we did see a nice transfer right here. We do have a medevac online right now, and that could spell drops, and that could spell a lot of trouble for Madfrog. As the drops from Sjow were super effective against Madfrog last time, so right now Madfrog just kind of, you know, bulking up right. I'm not sure why we're rallying them over here, but trying to keep them away from scans or anything would be my guess. But we do have a ninja base coming down for Madfrog, so Madfrog continuing to macro up. These roaches kind of moving out there, but just you know, letting those Hellions know that they're pretty much useless at this point. And Madfrog doing a good job not trying to do those Zerglings, because they would be able to kill the Hellions, but the Hellions would just rack up the massive kills against these Zerglings before they would actually be able to get the full surround and able to knock down those Hellions. So right now, a Baneling Nest is coming online for Madfrog. So Madfrog looking to counter any sort of Marine heavy build, but there's really not that many Marines on the ground right now. Probably looking to roll over into the a Mutalisk build with the Banelings on the ground, trying to knock out his anti-air capability, because none of these tanks, Hellions, or Marauders can actually shoot anything in the air. But we do actually have Mutalisk in the air, will be moving into the main, and looks like they're going for the jugular. Yes, they will be moving into the mineral line right here, and we do have the stemming of these Marines right here, trying to basically just make these Mutalisks go away, as you do not want to lose Mutalisks to Marines, as the Marines are just super, super cheap. And that one Mutalisk, though, is on life support, as it only has 24 HP left. And meanwhile, the rest of his force is just basically useless, as we did see that that Hellion totally got sniped right there. And right now, Madfrog just has pretty much a complete air supremacy, and kind of forced to stick in his base, and that's the power of these Mutalisks. And not only if you use them, obviously you can be effective with them, but the psychological effect of having a constant threat looming over you as the opponent is very altering in the way that they choose to deploy their forces. Look right here. We have a lot of Marines choosing to stay inside the main, not balling at the front, and this basically, if Madfrog chooses to engage as one unit, catching Sjow kind of off-center, that could really, really be a game changer. But Madfrog just really keeping up the aggressive Mutalisk harassment right now. Will be that unfortunate Marauder will be going down to a lot of glaive worms right here, as another two will be targeted. We do see them stem, trying to run away. Another one goes down. Of course, we do have these Marines stemming, trying to make something happen there. There are not that many Marines right there, but once again, you don't want to lose Mutalisks to Marines, as the trade-off is just not really worth it, as the Mutalisks are super expensive compared to Marines. So right now, we do have the Marines evacuating the main base of Sjow. Sjow, of course, does have 2 turrets down, 3 turrets down in the main, so that is going to really kind of persuade him not to engage. But we do actually have him trying to snipe the supply depot. That's really good stuff because you want to try to get the stuff that's weak. You want to try to be able to get that. And then one Mutalisk really counting his blessings is just barely able to get away right there at only 14 HP. But choosing to turn around and attack once again, so Madfrog just is not going to go away, will not stay quiet. Meanwhile, we have another hatchery coming down for him. And centrifugal hooks, and this is really going to be bringing up the effectiveness of these banelings because these are a lot of banelings right now on the field. And this could be really brutal for Sjow because Sjow, he does have 3 tanks on the field, and those are really effective against knocking down those banelings. And it does actually look like Madfrog is going to go on the attack right here. We do have partial, part of his forces showing up right here, and the Zerglings are getting the surround on these tanks, and the banelings are moving in here and detonating on these tanks and trying to get in touch with these Marines, but there are a lot of Marines left on the ground, and there's not enough Mutalisks right now, as that entire flock was cut down to about 4. So right now, let's go take a look at the losses tab, as Madfrog is not sitting pretty as far as the losses go, and income-wise, he's being outdone once again. Sjow just really cranking out, making full effectiveness of his 2 bases right there. We do actually have Sjow moving up here. He is stimming, and looks like he will be conquering this natural, though he's trying to kill off these drones that they're trying to evacuate, trying to run for their lives. And Madfrog, though, not choosing to engage this force of Sjow, will be going for a, are we going to see a base race? It does actually look like we're going to see a base race, as Sjow is not going to be retreating back to his main. Will be go ahead and taking on this natural expansion right here. We have all these overlords just begging to be shot down right here. We have the Zerglings in here, and the Mutalisks just trying to make something happen. Looks like the Zerglings are going to be petering out right there. So we have 4 Mutalisks chewing on the main of Sjow, and this is not going to be enough to really, this is no longer a base race. This is more like Madfrog will be losing his main, whereas Sjow will be able to keep his main. So we will be losing tech. We will be losing these drones, and Madfrog, I don't know. This is not a position you really want to be in. Trading that 1 supply depot for your natural, for your main, for your production, or for your tech facilities, and a lot of overlords. Yeah, Madfrog, seeing how that was going on, will be GGing out of there. So the Marines really what made it happen right there, as Sjow just had so many Marines. He split them up, not allowing those banelings to get a good solid contact on the on that Marine ball. And yeah, that was pretty much all she wrote right there. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. This will not be going to 3. I will be casting some other games right now, or shortly, so hopefully we'll have a lot more content coming to you. Hopefully we'll have it up tonight of the 28th. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and as always, citizens, stay safe.